Are you tired of the non-stop hustle and grind? Welcome to Life in Business, the podcast for business owners who want success without sacrificing life. I'm Libby Langley, your host, award-winning no BS straight-talking business coach, Amazon best-selling author, and the queen of easy business. Join me to learn simple and practical strategies for growing your business, your profits, and your confidence, and for having fun too. Here's this week's episode. Hello, welcome to another episode of Life in Business with me, your host, Libby Langley. Very nice to be here with you today. Apologies for the slightly bunged upness. I've had a cough and a cold for nearly 2 weeks now and it won't go. So anyway, pleasantries aside, I'm feeling fine. You'll be glad to know, just sounding a bit bunged up. But today I want to kind of go back to basics with your business and ask you why you're in business. Why? Why are you in business? I mean, as Simon Sinek said, right? Start with why. Today, I'm not going to reproduce his entire book, right? Of course not. But it is a really, really valid question. And actually, episode 2 of this podcast, so that would have come out in December 2022, so 18 months ago from the point of recording. And I did this, episode 2 was why you need a vision and a mission. And that's really kind of what I'm talking about today. This is almost like a remake of episode 2, because what happens in business, and certainly has happened in my podcast journey, I mean, you'll know that if you've listened to the early episodes and you listen now, I've become much more comfortable and confident with what I'm doing here. And I've had feedback from people and I've been guested on lots of other people's, countless other people's podcasts. So all that kind of experience has helped me grow and develop and get more comfortable and confident with it. And so the reason that I'm revisiting episode 2 this is episode 75, can you believe it? The reason I'm revisiting that is because things have kind of moved on a little bit. You know, the core values of business, I think, stay the same, but perhaps the way that I present things and the way I discuss things with clients and also clients' experience 18 months further on post-pandemic and all of this, it all adds to perhaps this needing, a slightly different slant on things and a slightly different conversation. So that's why I'm choosing to kind of refresh that. And if you've listened to episode 2 previously, then amazing. This is going to sound like a whole new episode. And if you haven't, then feel free to go back and actually there'll be tons of useful stuff in there for sure. But I think what you might notice is, or you'll be able to see is kind of my confidence, my journey in this. And I don't say this to make it about me, even though it's my podcast, right? So all about me, but I don't say this to make it be about me. I say this to emphasize the fact that in business, we're on a journey, right? And everything we do moves us forward. And what's really important is for us to step back sometimes and reflect on where we've actually been. So if you look at, using the example of my podcast, if I look at 18 months ago, me, when I was starting my podcast versus now, wildly different, right? Wildly different. And I would say I have a lot more fun with it now. It brings me better results, I think, now because I'm more comfortable and confident with it. I'm way more myself, less scripted, and talk about the things that really matter to me rather than finding topics to talk about, which I know I did in some of the first earlier episodes. And if you stop to look at where you are in your journey in business, you're going to find exactly the same thing. And that's not necessarily about the way that you work with clients, right? Although that does always shape and grow and develop as you get more experience along the way. But it's about how far you've come on the journey. And we set ourselves goals and we set ourselves targets. And actually, we don't reach them always because they're movable feasts, But we don't look at, so where were we then? And where are we now? Well, flipping heck, actually, I've come so far on this journey that I'm not ever actually stopping reflecting on it. I'm looking at where I haven't got to. Yeah. And it's funny, I have the time hop app. You probably have it too. So all the my old Facebook posts and Instagram posts and photos on my phone, they all pop up like on the same day each year. And I've been using it for years and years and years. And I guess the best way to reflect what I'm saying here is the other day, some photos of my garden popped up. And we've been in this house 18 months or so, maybe more than that, 20 months, something like that. And so we only did the garden about a year ago. And it popped up of, we just dug out of bed because it's a new build house. So it's just this plot of boggy grass. So all that's come up. We put in some borders, some beds and all that, and put in some tiny little plants. And I look out now and I'm like, whoa, or I've already had to take a few things out because there's too much in there. Already started chopping stuff back because stuff's really grown. But if I go out now, I'm like, well, it's still not where I want it to be. That hedge isn't as big as I want it to be and all this. And that's what we do, right? It's a really good way to kind of illustrate it because it's only by looking at the picture from last year and I'm like, oh my God, it was just mud. It was just mud, soil and kind of nothing, to looking out the window, going out in the garden to see what it's like now. But if we are just out there looking at today's picture, we forget about the journey. And that's just so important to always kind of step back and reflect on where you are. And it's really important to keep reminding you of why you're in business, right? Because those reasons will also change, I think, over the years. Now, I've been in business for 13 years this year. Ooh, I feel like a grandma. And the reason I started my business, if you've listened to these episodes, this podcast before, then you'll kind of know the story. But I started my business because I was desperately unhappy in the job that I was doing. I had become desperately unhappy due to circumstance, not because I didn't like the job. And so I started my business using the qualification, skills, experience that I had. So I started teaching social media courses to people and supporting businesses with their strategy, which is kind of what I still do now, right? Because that's what I'd learned in my job. But I knew that I could do it better for myself. And the reason that I started it was because I knew I could do it and I knew I could do it better than they were allowing me to do it, right? So it wasn't necessarily born out of being super passionate about the thing that I was doing. It was that it was interesting to me. Social media particularly was really interesting back then because it was shiny, new, very different. And the online marketing space was really cool because the early days of development, I think, is always interesting for stuff. And so I started it for those reasons, and the desire to have more freedom, more flexibility, more control over my own time and my own life was part of it. But part of it wasn't the sole motivation, right? A lot of it was driven by, I can do this better myself, And so that was my why to start with, really. It was like, sod you, I'm going to do this my own way. And over the years, that's changed. I'm a completely different person, I would say, than I was back then. And so my why has changed. And the reason I'm in business has changed. And the reason that I'm in business now is still to be in control, still to be able to make my own decisions. But it's partly because certainly since my diagnosis, my autism and understanding my ADHD, actually I can see now that having my own business is healthier for me because I can build it in a way that suits the way that I am and the way that I work and the things that I like, I do more of, and the things that, maybe in a job you have to do them. I don't have to do them, right? I can outsource them, get other people to do them and get a support team around me. So it's almost changed to, I won't put that under the mental health category, but sort of that thing, right? A general well-being category, I would say. And I can be as sort of chaotic and organised, which is an interesting combination between ADHD and autism, as I want and I need to be. And that allows me to make really fast decisions, and it enables me to really help people very quickly, and it enables me to react and to problem solve and all that really, really exciting stuff. And it also enables me to talk about business from morning till night, because that is what I love, right? I love knowing about people, learning about people and their businesses, and helping them become more efficient, make more money, be happier, all this stuff. And I really, really love that. I'm really passionate about it. And so kind of that's why I'm in business. And it's because it suits me, and because I'm interested in it. And my vision and my mission within that are really to lead with integrity and honesty in the business world, particularly the online business world, because there is not a lot of honesty and integrity about in the online business world. And I really, really hate that. And also to empower women to just do more, right? To do more and to be more. And that is in whatever way that it matters to you, right? It's not up to me to say, to do more and to be more. You've got to have £1 million empire, and you've got to wear high heels, and no, it's whatever it means to you. But to empower women to understand what do more, be more kind of means to them, and then to go out and get it, right? So they're almost my reasons for being in business. Now, that's kind of my why. And I don't believe that I could do that in such a powerful way for me or for anyone else, any of my clients that I work with, or you guys listen to this, right? If I was in a job, I just don't believe that, because committees, meetings, whatever, kill the soul, that kind of stuff. I can do much more on the ground. Yeah, much more on the ground. And that really matters to me. So if I said to you, what's your why? What's your reason for being in business? Has that changed from day one? You might be 12 months in. You probably feel a bit different already. You're probably getting a better idea about who you are and where you want to be, and actually what does matter to you. And if you're 5 years into your business, you will have shifted from day one for sure. And if you're coming up for 13 years, same as me, yeah, you're a different person, right? You're in a different decade of life, possibly approaching the third decade. And your family situation will have changed. If you had young kids, they're now older kids. I was married to someone else, and now I'm married to another one. It's like everything kind of changes through your life. And so taking time to reflect on what your vision is, what your mission is, what you want from life, right? And what you really care about. Reflecting on that and thinking about what really matters to you. It's so important. It's such an important exercise to do. And that all influences and all comes into, why are you in business? Yeah. And it's not, if you're in business just to make money, that's quite hard work. And also it's quite a masculine energy. It's quite hard work though to just do that, because if you're just in it to make money, you don't really care about it, probably, right? I mean, we all want to make money. We want to have loads of money, go on lots of holidays and do lots of interesting things. But there's also what lots of money means to me will be different to what lots of money means to you. So again, it's all relative, and it's all so personal. And knowing what it means to you and why you're in business, that's something that only you can decide. And it's really, really powerful when you just kind of, you can write these things down if you want. You can have them in notes in your phone. You can just have them in your head. It doesn't matter. But just knowing what that core value is for you is like, I get me. I know why I'm doing this. I'm not just getting up and creating a job for myself so I can wear slippers instead of going to an office. No. Yeah. Makes a big difference. So what's your future look like? What do you want for yourself in the future? Because we have to be on a journey. Being in business has to be on a journey, or honestly, you might as well just have a job, because, you need a purpose for it. Yeah. And you need this kind of goal in the future, something that you're working towards, something that you're building, because it just helps with measuring where you are on that journey and measuring where you are on that scale. So if you've got this vision of your future in your mind, right, in your mind's eye, then you can see if the day-to-day actions that you're taking are actually aligned with that. So if your vision, my clients tend to fall into two camps, really. One is that they are wanting to, kind of pay off the mortgage, have ultimately, that's the financial goal, to have that kind of ultimate financial freedom, and to build the business that allows them to have time to enjoy life. So that's the one camp. And the other camp is that they're all in to build their business to sell it. So the ultimate goal is always to have financial freedom and to have more time to do the things that are really enjoyed. But there's two routes. There tend to be kind of two routes, two camps for people to go to, or that people are in. So the question really is, if that's your vision and that's your journey, are the actions that you take every day aligned with that? And if they're not, why are you doing them? I say to my clients a lot, and it's kind of become a bit of a catchphrase, I know that, but it makes sense. It's like, what would the CEO do? And the CEO, right, is this, because I don't know, I mean, technically I'm the CEO of my business, but I would never call myself a CEO, right? I'm me, and I do my thing. Yeah. And I don't know if you feel the same about that, but when you say about a CEO, you kind of, it conjures an image into mind, for me certainly. And it's kind of, somebody who knows what they're doing, like a grown up, So if you think, what would the CEO do? Oh yeah, the CEO would not be faffing about on Canva. The CEO would not be doing that, because that is not going to make any difference to the big vision, the big goal, right? The thing that you really want, the life that you really want. That's not going to make any difference. And why are you in business? So always bring it back to the title, but why are you in business? You're not in business so that you can spend 2 hours faffing about creating something in Canva. You're not. You're in business so that you can do what you want when you want. You can have freedom, you can have flexibility, you can do things away from work. You can build a solid future for yourself and for your family and whoever matters to you, whatever matters to you. That's why you're in business. So are your daily actions aligned with where you actually want to get to and where you actually want to be? And sometimes that's absolutely, the answer to that is absolutely nope. No, they're not. All I've done today is faff about. And that's kind of okay too, but recognizing and almost like pulling yourself back. If every day is full of actions that aren't aligned to your vision and your goal, you've lost sight of why you're in business. And that's why it has to come back to, as Simon Sinek said, has to come back to start with why. But it's not just start with why, it's continue with why, remember why, yeah? So, you almost need a Post-it note on the wall that says, remember why, and remember why you're doing this. And that's helpful as well for the tough times, right? Because there are tough times in business. There will always be tough times in business. There will always be days that are rubbish. There will always be clients who are horrible. That kind of will always happen. You can get better at mitigating those circumstances. But yeah, ultimately, you're always going to be dealing with people, and we all know what people are like, right? So you can't get rid of any of that, right? But why am I doing this? What do I really believe in? What's my vision? What's my goal? What's my mission? What do I care about? Oh yeah, that. I'd forgotten about all of that. I'm just here doing the day-to-day. I'm doing the do. I'd forgotten that some of it might actually matter to me. And so if you start with why, but you keep coming back to why, and you keep asking why, and you keep remembering why, then that's going to keep you focused, and you're going to know that the blips, they're just blips. Like roller coasters, they have ups and they have downs, and that that's just kind of all part of the journey. But this stepping back and reflecting on that is quite important. And then, what is your kind of inner drive? What's your inner belief? What in your core is the focus for you? What is it that really, 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 really matters? And this might be something that you've never shared with anybody, right? Never not your nearest and dearest, not me in a DM, nobody, never. And that is something that is so precious to you, that it's something that perhaps you should make bigger than just being a really deep inner thought, yeah? What is it that, if anything could happen, it would be that? And that's such a cool feeling and kind of such a level of self-awareness to be able to bring to the front in your business. And so if you close your eyes and you kind of look deep inside and you say, what is it? What's the thing? What's the thing really deep inside of me? What can I feel bubbling away? And it's like, oh, let's bring that to the front. And if you take a deep breath and you feel brave and bold and kind of step into that, then actually you can really transform your business and yourself. And the more you believe in yourself and the more you understand yourself and the more you acknowledge and raise your own awareness of what it is that's inside you that actually it really wants to come out, that's your true why. Yeah, it's not this, oh, I want my kids to have a better life. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? That's not a motivator, really, because who doesn't? Who would say, I don't care about my kids? Nobody. It's like when businesses say, what's your kind of mission statement? To provide good customer service. Oh my God, who's going to say that they want to give shit service? Nobody, ever. So it's got to be kind of a deeper level than that. It's got to be this inside, almost like naughty. Oh my God, could I really make a business with that at the core? Yeah, you can, because that's you. And that's that's like your inner passion and your inner vision and your inner why. And if you let that out, like kind of if you open your chest up and let that out, then people are going to be so much more attracted to you because you're actually leading what you're doing with the thing that really matters to you, right? I say you don't have to kind of share this, but if you allow yourself to just even acknowledge it, to feel it, then you're going to kind of start radiating this. I really believe in this. I really believe in this. And that's what's so appealing. So if you kind of let yourself really, your why, your genuine, real inner soul why out, then suddenly you're going to find that it's easier to get clients. It's easier to do your marketing. It's easier to know where you're going. It's your path just kind of unfolds before you. And I don't mean any of this to sound like too woo, because that's kind of not my it's not my raison d'etre, right? But I do strongly believe that the more that you understand yourself and the more that you accept yourself and embrace what is really going on inside, like inside your heart, but like inside your mind as well. What would you really like to do? Oh my God, would you? Let's go there. Let's make that happen. That's how the momentum builds. And that's how it is. That's the point of being a business, right? Because if we all feel a little bit, I like it. I really like helping people and I like delivering this service and, and I'm quite happy. It's like, yeah, okay. But what if you really, really bubbled? What if you bubbled inside just thinking about it? And it felt fun and it felt like a game and it felt like a joy, That's how to get to the real core, the real why of you being in business. Because thing about business is that it can be like a job, right? My business has been like a job at various points in its nearly 13 years. So, it can be like a job and you can get up and you can sit at your desk and you can do your thing and you can serve your clients and you can get more clients and people can pay you and, you can do your tax returns and you can finish at the end of the day and you can do the same again the next day, right? Fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Or it can be something that you really believe in, and it can be really fun, and you can know that actually you are changing the world. And you're not going to necessarily, be president and change the world in that way, but you're on the ground, you're making on the ground changes to people's actual lives in some small shape or form. And if we all do that, if we all do the thing that we're really passionate about, and we really believe in, and we really know that we're changing people's lives in our own small way, that adds up to a hell of a lot of lives changed. And that's really powerful. And so this empowerment that we can do between us is just phenomenal. And that's how we change, that's how we're going to change the world, rather than creating jobs for ourselves. So I invite you to think about why you're in business. And I invite you to think about why you started the business in the first place, and where you are now, where you've come from, what your journey has been, and where you are now. And what your fizzy bubbly feeling inside is if you really let it out. What would it look like? What would it be? How would you serve people? How would it make you feel? How would it make them feel? How would it change the world? And how would it change your life? And then from that, you can build, that's your vision, right? And you can build your mission statement, you can build your structure of your business, and you can kind of change stuff. You can have a lot more fun. You'll have a bigger smile on your face. You'll make more money. And why are you in business? Oh my God, you're going to just even start laughing and smiling before anyone has finished that sentence. And that's what I invite you to think about today. And I'd love to know if you want to share that real kind of core, inner, sneaky, cheeky why. Share it with me. Message me on Instagram or LinkedIn or email me and tell me what it is and share it, because I would love to know. It'd be so cool to know that. And if you need my help with putting any of this into place, again, get in touch with me and we can work out something that is going to help this little fizzy in a bubble why become your actual reality. And that would be so cool. So thank you very much for joining me again today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Life in Business. Please make sure that you subscribe or follow so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you enjoyed today's show, please leave a review, as it helps others to find the podcast and spread the word that there's an easier way to do business. If you want to chat with me about today's episode or suggest a topic for the future, I would love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram @Libby Langley. See you next week.